We could do some salsa or some beats. Yeah, we'll do some salsa. Take this to the hotel later.
This is the mild one.
How can you... Okay, you're spicy?
Well, are we not getting a hot one?
Oh, yeah.
I might have that with some bugles in the car.
All right, we'll see how we manage.
Yeah, so as we get into this idea of claims, some things, companies get it right a lot of the time. Sometimes they don't. But why is it important that companies get their claims process right?
I think this is one of the easier questions to answer.
Yeah.
Because if you don't claim properly, you don't get paid.
Boom. That's it.
Simple.
Yeah.
Yet so many businesses do it badly. For starters, there's a few different elements as to how, what does good look like in claims. And so this is the party who's receiving the rebate. In many cases, the onus is on them to claim the money. Well, no. For starters, I already think that's, shame on the party paying it out, because you should want to be paying this out, so you shouldn't even need to wait for a claim.
And you're talking about the ease of getting paid. Can you speak a bit about that streamlined management, auto-generated approvals, eliminating delays, inaccuracies, all of those things?
Yeah, sure. So firstly, you've got what I would deem as your good suppliers, the suppliers who really work with you. And really claims isn't even a process with those suppliers. You'll receive very shortly after the rebate is due a full calculation that you can investigate to understand exactly what's making up the number, with a payment into your bank account or a credit note there and then. Those kind of suppliers, they're the suppliers who they're building trust, and they have confidence in their process. So you don't really need to build one other than, thank you, here's the payment, we agree the numbers. Unfortunately, every supplier is like that. And so then you've got what I would deem as the next tier of supplier, which are the ones where it's a significant number. So as much as there's automation, there's also going to be a human aspect, because this could be millions that you are receiving every single month.
You got to cross all your T's, dot all your I's.
Yeah. And even a small percentage difference is a big number. And so what you need in that claims process, yes, you need efficiency, although it's not as important as when we get to the next tier. What you're really looking for here is, rather than efficiency, you're looking for results. So this is definitely where you are having to use people to collect the money.
Would you say that's a pain point using humans, or just another thing you have to do to make sure it's being done correctly?
I think it's...
that's really weird to say. Is that a pain point, using humans?
No, I think it's really important to use humans in that process, because you're trying to build the relationship with your supplier. You want to convert them into that initial type of supplier who you have conditioned into working with you, and you can start to build trust. So having these people, but these are the same people who are going to help you with reconciliations. They're going to help you with year-end processes, auditors, and potentially with your internal stakeholders. So it's really important, that when you create a team, it's diverse in its makeup, because all aspects of rebate management can happen or can occur in one person or a team of people.
Speaking about claims, how do you minimize the time spent, uploading and tracking and processing the status of all of your claims? So it's centralized management, approval workflows, automated calculations. Do you have with your ERP, what's the best strategy there?
So one of the challenges you always have is you're trying to collect money with your ERP from a supplier. Your ERP generally thinks you're trying to collect money from your customers, not from your suppliers. So some ERPs that are not happy invoicing a supplier because then they will be settled with customer accounts, with supplier accounts. You invoice customer accounts and you're invoiced by supplier accounts, so they don't like that. So that can be a challenge within itself. And then in many cases you end up having to do this, all of this process outside of your ERP, outside of your platform. So we were a client of Enable's, and at the time Enable didn't do this either. Enable would tell us what we were due, but it stopped. It didn't help us get the cash in the bank. And so you really had to think carefully about what your process would look like to do that efficiently. And we had spreadsheets running, we had all sorts going to try and automate as much of that process as we could. What are some of the red flags we should look for? So where a supplier maybe who regularly pays us suddenly hasn't paid us for 2 months in a row now. What's going on? And because there are a whole myriad of reasons why you are not getting paid. And the last thing you should do is start throwing mud at that supplier, send them, quite a feisty email, when actually there could be a very genuine reason that is either within or not within their control. And so relationships matter, and relationships are not something we can automate, and they're always something that I'm going to take time.
Absolutely.
So it is making sure you're putting your time in the right places. But to your point, yes, you've got to look at ways of automating. Either your ERP is capable of doing this for you, but I found that to be very rare, or you're having to find a way to kind of just make the pieces work the best that they possibly can for you. You could be in business, especially when we all work from home now, you've got to be so respectful of who you're dealing with, because not everybody these days is sat in an office in some city. Anybody, especially these days with the world of remote working, has access to kind of working from wherever, which I kind of love in a way that, you could be managing rebates on your farm. That maybe that's something we should develop. A rebate management platform that farmers can use while they're in their tractors.
Well, yeah. They're not always in their tractors, but yes. The rebate management that everyone, could use no matter what the industry. And I think that is something that, we do and will do.
I'm just thinking of that kind of touchscreen technology with big buttons. So
the fancy tractors. Yep.
You're bumping around in the fields, and you need to know, how your rebates are doing.
Well, yeah.
We've got that.
So you're automating claims while plowing.
Yep. So the rebate
combine harvesting.
So if you're due a rebate,
so many farmers are really upset about this.
You'll hit that claim button, and you don't have to worry.
Yep.
I think it's just reiterating that first point, why a claim's important.
Yep.
Because if you don't get paid, well, enough said. It's ultimately, when it comes to rebates, you can have all the fancy calculations, all the fancy spreadsheets, but if the money doesn't end up in your bank account, the whole thing was worthless. So make sure you get paid when you're due to get paid for the right amount.
There you have it. All right, well, we will check in a little bit as we find holes in our rebates, just like there may be some holes in cheese. We don't want any of that happening, so stay tuned. We'll be back in a few.